My son and my daughter, it's sad. Oh, listen, might be a child predator calling me right now. Hold on.
Take it live. Let's roll.
Here we go. Ready in 3, 2. Oh wait. Hello.
Yo, it's your boy Phil Wham Bam Benamino, and it's another Wham Bam Wednesday. You know, the show about ordinary people who've done extraordinary things. And as always, we got to ask first, you know the drill, man. Subscribe, hit the button down below, subscribe, like, love, share it. Tell us what you don't like. We want to hear feedback, man, because without you, we don't have a show. That's just the reality. Today's guest, I have a 15-year-old little girl. Jennifer Adelia is in the house today.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you? It's such a pleasure to be on the Wham Bam podcast. I wanted to tell you, obviously I'm going to high school. I'm a little girl.
Wait a second. You don't look like a Jennifer Adelia. In fact, man, I got Shane Coyle in the house.
Baby.
Human decoy. He caught over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of predators with his little voice. Shane, what's up, man?
Dude, man, Phil, let me say first and foremost, bro, it's an honor to be sitting here with such an icon, dude. You are absolutely 100% just a pivotal person in the entire podcast industry because of your positivity, bro. That's what it really attracted me to you, man. You know, obviously, Child Safety Soldiers, our organization, is saving kids, and I know your dedication as a father to not only just keeping your kids safe, but keeping other kids safe. It's an honor to be here, bro.
100%.
Really
Thank
is,
you.
man.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
That means a lot. But you know what, man? Let's get right into it, and let's tell the viewers exactly what they want to know. What the heck are you doing?
Man.
What's with this voice? What's going on? Explain to us. Now, you're going after child predators.
Yes,
there
sir.
are literally people out there that are trying to hook up
with little girls and little boys,
with
man.
little girls and little girls.
What started out as just a father avenging his daughter. My daughter, as we talked earlier, you know, I'll refresh.
Yeah, tell the viewers a little bit about that, man.
My daughter, who's 19 years old, her name is Gianna. She is the most important thing with my son, who's 11 years old in my life. My child, as our children are our most important things in our lives, was preyed on by a child predator at 11 years old. Now, back then, it wasn't for the internet. It wasn't for views, likes, and shares. It still isn't, but it wasn't any kind of movement. At 11 years old, my daughter was preyed on by a child predator. She was 11 years old with a cell phone. I was a Disneyland dad.
How old was this guy?
52 years old.
52-year-old man trying to be with a 11-year-old girl.
2-time sex offender on top of that, man. It was about 12:30 at night. My daughter's cell phone's all of a sudden just ringing off the hook. I'm hearing la 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 la, and I'm like, wow, who's calling my daughter at 12:30 at night?
Right.
So I pick up her cell phone. I take a look at it, and I'm like, what is this? So it's an application. A social media application, child appropriate, called Moco Space. I'm sorry, it wasn't Kick, it was Moco Space.
Really?
And I look, and it's just nonstop messages to my daughter.
See, I've never even heard about that.
Oh, there's so many applications,
That's
Phil.
crazy.
That's the problem today. There's so many child appropriate applications that our kids are on at such young ages that we think they're safe on. But as parents, we don't do our due diligence to actually look at the application ourselves. They just think, oh, it's a kid's app. These predators, they're lurking in the shadows of every child's application. This one was pretending to be a 13-year-old boy. He had all the makings of a 13-year-old boy's profile, picture, date of birth, the whole 9 yards. But everything looked like a 13-year-old boy except for the questions to my daughter. They were too adult-like. What's your age? What's your bra size? Would you ever sneak out? I mean, it was obviously, as a father, I know this is not a kid.
Right.
Now, my 11-year-old little girl wouldn't know. She never messaged him back. He never got in touch with her. But it was right then and there. Obviously, I've seen Chris Hansen from Dateline NBC at the time,
right,
To Catch a Predator. Big shout out to Chris and the Ghost team, by the way. I seen them doing this online, and I'm thinking to myself, if I just pick up the phone, I say, hey, who the F is this? Who are you? Calling my daughter. He's going to hang up and disappear.
Yep. He's going to find somebody else.
It was my little brother, Jason. Big shout out to my brother, Jason. Who's actually a fan of your podcast, man, by the way.
Attaboy, Jay.
Hell yeah, man. Jason, he said to me, Shane, why don't you just talk like a little girl? You could do voices. Pretend to be Gianna. Pretend to be your daughter. And let's get this guy. Now, being a pretty, I don't want to say aggressive Italian, but I'm Italian-Irish, pretty aggressive person in the fight game. I'm a second-degree black belt in Korean Kumdo. I studied martial arts for a long time. I want to go after this guy. So I pick up the phone. I answer the phone as a little girl, and this is how the call went.
Hello. Hey, what's up? How are you?
Hold on. This is crazy.
ahead, bro.
This is crazy. So you just right off, because me as a father, I could imagine I'm going to be the first guy that you said. I'm going to probably be the guy that's going to go over there, bang on his door.
You want to kill him.
Want to kill him, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you trying to do? But you rechanneled yourself.
Yeah, man, it was hard.
Just to say, hey, let me try to trap this guy.
Yeah, bro. And because I know if I was
All right,
that
let me hear it.
If I was that father saying, hey, I'm going to kill you, they're going to disappear.
You're right.
They do. They disappear in the
100%,
shadows.
100%.
These perverts are lurking in the shadows. They're very, very clever. You know what I mean? They spend their whole lives being a pervert, so they're going to perfect perversion. You know what I mean? So this is how the call went.
Hello. Hey, what's up? How are you?
And the pervert said, hey, yo, and this is actually his voice. I mastered it. Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. I wanted to just apologize because I'm a little older than my profile says.
All right. So, like, how old are you?
Well, 52. Now,
Damn, 52 years old.
bro, sick bastard. Already on the registry.
Yeah.
So I had to speak to this pervert for for exactly 13 minutes, talking to him about where I live. I didn't give him my real address, but
Now, are you recording this?
oh yeah, recorded
so you had to
everything.
record- so you-
Recorded
so you
everything
have
because I intentionally in my mind was gonna go and kill this guy. Literally, like back then, man, it wasn't about like keeping kids safe. It was about keeping my daughter safe. As a father, anybody messes with your kid,
Right.
what are you gonna do? I was gonna. Thankfully, rest in peace, my father who passed away. But thankfully, my father spoke sense into me. It was me, my father, my cousin, my brother that all went to meet this guy who thought he was meeting my daughter. Needless to say, it wasn't exactly a legal meetup. It was an ass beating, and I'll be honest with you. We beat his ass, and I wound up getting tased. Okay.
Wait a second. You got a 52-year-old man.
Sick bastard.
Walk me through the meetup. Like, what was he thinking that he was going to? Like, where did you go?
I went to the public
it a
shopping
hotel
plaza in
room or
Tampa.
something?
Nope.
No. Oh, okay.
Nope. I made sure that it was right in line with where I lived in a public area. It was like 2-something in the morning when we met. It was actually 2:30 in the morning. 12:30 at night, or 11 something or 12 something at night. I don't remember exactly what time it was, but by the end of the text messaging and the phone calls, the meetup happened at about 2:30 in the morning at a public shopping plaza, which was closed. And I was sitting in a parking lot. I had my father sitting in one side, my cousin and my brother in another side in cars, and I'm sitting in a car like this, waiting for a red pickup truck with a white cap to pull in. That's the pervert. Now, mind you, without incriminating myself, we were pretty much ready for whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
We were going to do whatever. I didn't know what I was going to do. My dad was telling me, we'll just corner him, we'll call the cops. And my dad's pretty raw. He was pretty raw too. My dad hung out with, the Marlinos and all these guys in South Philly. Big shout, by the way, Joey Marlino. It was nobody knew what we were going to do. We just knew that this man wanted to hurt my daughter sexually.
Right.
And I didn't even have time to think because by the time we got to the public shopping plaza, this pervert was pulling in, man. I seen the red pickup truck with a white cap. And it was like, you know what? Crashed right into his car. Ripped him out of his car. And not glorifying this, however, glorifying it.
Yeah.
Wound up beating his ass to a bloody pulp. He wound up, going out in an ambulance. I went out in handcuffs. Turns out he was a 2-time sex offender. Now, mind you, I've already been watching Chris Hansen, and there's teams in the UK that are specializing in doing this. And I'm like, damn, man, this is amazing. I get down to the police department in handcuffs. They take me out of the handcuffs because he's a 2-time sex offender. I recorded every single call. They seen what happened.
Right.
After this, let's fast forward 2 days after this. I'm looking online. I'm looking at all this stuff. And I'm seeing these people that in the UK that are busting predators. Chris Hansen and back then it was Perverted Justice that worked with Chris Hansen. Now it's the Ghost team. I'm like, damn, I could do this. Like I could do voices. Like I could do voices to the point to where they're gonna think I'm a little girl.
Right.
Let me do it. Let me show the internet what these scumbags are. So I said, you know what? Making a profile. My little brother. Boom, I grab a couple of people. Brandy Powers, LB, Beth. Hold on. Make sure it's not a pervert. Hold on. No, it's not. Sorry,
you got to call him just like that.
Yeah, dude.
You gotta do
Believe it or
it
not, you see,
hand.
I got phones left and right because each one is a predator phone. I have my personal phone and predator phones. which maybe at the end of this thing, maybe we'll call a child predator live, dude, which you actually hear. But I got a couple of people involved. I got my buddy, LB, all these different decoys, Beth, Brandy. I mean, you name it. I had everybody who was invested. They're like, dude, this happened to your daughter. Let's get these bastards. So we started making fake profiles, creating 13, 14, 15-year-old profiles. And no sooner did we post up a fake profile. And back then it was an application called Craigslist, a website, Craigslist.
Oh, yeah.
It was the easiest thing in the world. You post an ad on Craigslist, hey, 14 years old, bored. That's all we would say.
Really?
We don't say 14, wanting sex. I never. My organization, Child Safety Soldiers, prides itself on never getting sexual with a child predator. I use diversion. If a predator says, hey, would you F me?
So, like, I mean, is that what you want to do?
I ask them questions for answer. But anyway, we created this thing.
No,
I said,
that's not what I want to do. What do you
you know what I mean? So we wound up creating this big-ass movement, dude. And I'm like, damn, it starts blowing up. Next thing you know, boom. 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers, boom, boom, boom. And everybody just showing love. Like, whoa, dude, you're bust. I set one up at McDonald's. The first one that I did was a 48-year-old pervert by the name of Aaron at McDonald's. Thought I was a 15-year-old girl. I went and did it live, man. I said, I'm doing this on Facebook Live. Now, mind you, back then, we weren't exactly rocking with the police the way we are now. Big shout out to all the police departments that we're working with. It was more along the lines of a vendetta. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure these bastards are exposed. And I did, man. I have some videos out there. If you Google search the ultimate decoy, Shane Coyle, you're gonna see some crazy stuff, man. You're gonna see me forcing these predators to call their mothers, call their jobs, tell them that they're predators. I mean, literally, this guy was
basically just embarrassing them. You just
Unbelievable.
You couldn't arrest them.
Yeah.
So it's not like you could arrest them. You could take them to jail.
The police
you can
wouldn't-
beat their ass, but then you're going to jail. Type of thing. So you basically just embarrass them, scared the shit out of them.
Beyond belief, put the fear of God into them. There was a lot of times where I did lay hands on them. If they shown the slightest bit of aggression towards me, if they raised their hands above their waist towards my perimeter, they were getting leveled. But then, after so many times of doing it, so many perverts, I'm exposing them, and I'm calling the cops on all of them. But the cops are like, dude, we're not going to work with you. Number one, you're a felon. Number two, you're not even, there's no way you're beating them up or you're forcing them to do. You got to get your stuff together, Shane. And I remember, man, Detective Anson, big shout out. He's the first one to tell me, if you actually become legit, man, you could do a big thing, do real big things. So,
So you know what? You mentioned you were a felon. Let's talk a little bit about
Hell
that,
yeah.
because I'm sure some of the viewers want to know a little bit about
Absolutely.
that. Well, what is that you did? How did you become a felon? What happened?
Man, I'll tell you what. In 2005,
Don't
2006,
tell me you were a pervert.
No. Well, believe it or not, I was one of these predators, and I'm reformed.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
There's no help and there's no
There's no
reforming.
rehab for that.
No,
There's
hell
no rehab for
hell
that.
No.
You can't go away for 100 days.
I love this freaky guy, bro.
You can't go away 100
100
days. Come
days
back
and you're
with
no longer a predator.
I am no longer a predator. I'm healed.
In the Bible, man, by the way, big shout to Jesus. In the Bible, it says, if thou shalt do so much as to harm the hairs on one of these little ones' heads, thou shalt not enter the kingdom of heaven. I get people that actually say to me, what are you doing? Why don't you just let God take care of them? You know what I say? How do you know God's not using me as the righteous hand to take care of these perverts? You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's no help for perverts. There's only treatment, and the treatment is DOC, Department of Corrections. And you'll see that in all of my predator busts. When I tell a pervert, listen, I want to help you, and the help is DOC, it goes right in one ear and out the other, and then they get cuffed up. You know what I mean?
Any of these people like married and shit and stuff, have
dude.
families?
Man, I sent Alexander one of the videos. In fact, one of the ones that was on the 4th of July, 48-year-old redhead dude named Aaron in Tampa, Florida. He was married with a wife. For 7 years he was married with her his whole life. She has cancer. He's got kids with. I mean, yeah, dude, bro. These sick bastards show no. There's not like you could be like, look at somebody and be like, oh, that's a pervert. I mean, don't get me wrong. You have intuitions,
Sure.
as a father, but it's no longer just the dark van with the tinted out windows. That's the kidnapper on the side of the road. It's the ice cream driver. It's a church pastor. It's a police officer. It's a cool school teacher. I mean,
Dude, how do parents keep their kids safe these days?
bro,
I mean, come on, let's be real about it. I mean, you're in direct contact with some of these people, and you've seen all works of life, meaning It doesn't matter where they work at. These aren't people that are just sitting home reading newspapers and surfing the internet. There's some real life people, right?
Bro.
I mean, you've said you've hit some attorneys. You've had some real professional, high-level business people.
Politicians.
And stuff that are out.
CPS workers, judges,
Crazy.
school teachers. The truth of the matter is, and that's the big question that the public wants to know, how do we keep our kids safe?
Yeah.
I'm traveling in the United States. As you know, I just got done speaking at a university out here in Georgia. I spoke in Michigan University. I spoke at so many different universities and high schools and places that are there to foster our kids in education. And majority of these schools are not teaching stranger danger anymore. I remember a day when we were young.
Stranger danger.
Yeah, right? You remember stranger danger,
absolutely.
dude?
Right,
you
yeah.
remember DARE,
Yeah.
Drug-Free America, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
It's no longer being taught in the schools.
But you know what? What about these kids, dude? You got to think about the flip side, too. Mm-hmm. You know, you got these 13 or 14-year-old kids that are actually...
Doing some
entertaining
crazy
this
stuff,
shit,
dude.
right?
Yeah,
Entertaining
yeah,
this shit.
man.
Because not everybody's a fake person, like, trying to be somebody.
No, it's
I mean, some
unfortunate.
shit really happens, unfortunately.
It's unfortunate because the truth of the matter is that if you are not doing your part as a parent, okay, and I speak directly to the parents and I'm looking directly in your eyes, because if you think I'm talking about you, chances are I am. You have to do the due diligence as a parent to keep your kids safe. That doesn't mean just assume. Most parents just assume, oh, my kid would never do that. My kid would never talk to a stranger. They'd walk away. They'd run. I'll tell you what, the ones that are abducted are the ones that you thought would run or that wouldn't do it either. Because those parents that have lost their loved ones to abduction, to sexual abuse, to things of that nature, they weren't teaching their kids that. And even if you do teach your kids, the downside to this is, even if you do teach your kids everything there is to know about stranger danger, about child predators, they're still susceptible and it's still possible. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of kids today, too, especially young kids, they're not going to tell you. I mean, we had a guest on one of our podcasts, Seth, who actually was raped,
God bless him.
by a male, a big male at that, and for years, and he didn't know how to come forward to say something about it. Now he's creating this movement that he's working off of to try to help those that have gone through similar situations.
That's amazing.
To
bless you,
fix
Seth.
it. Yeah.
God bless you, Seth. I'll tell you what, I do something called Exposure for Closure. It's a whole separate entity to the movement of where me and my team, Jay the Beast, and everybody that's working with child safety soldiers is out there hunting and exposing and getting these predators arrested. I also do something called Exposure for Closure. Anybody who's a survivor of sexual abuse, and if they never got justice, what I do is I'll fly out to them. I'll sit down with them and talk to them, and we find out who their abuser was. In fact, I'll speak on a case. There was a woman back years ago when I first started this. Her father was sexually molesting her from age 10 to 16, or even earlier than that, but she remembers 10 to 16. She told her mother didn't believe her, because a lot of the times the families won't believe the kid, or they won't call the cops because they don't want to see the people get arrested. They don't want their family in the spotlight of sexual abuse. Nobody wants it, right? So what I did was I started flying out state to state and actually going and meeting with sexual abuse survivors and saying, hey, listen, back then you didn't get justice, but justice never dies. We can get you justice. I will hunt and expose your predecessor, and we will confront them with you in person, and then we'll go from there. So I did several times.
No, nice.
Basically, I went out to this one woman to North Carolina, flew out there, got her father to come and meet up. She got her father to come meet up at the hotel, and then I hit him. Hey, man, listen, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to speak to you. And this was all live. I have the videos. I'll send you, Phil, for sure, man.
Yeah.
It was very powerful, very powerful. We get police involvement, of course, because once this predator admits, yes, I molested you as a kid, what are they? They're not going to continue in freedom. They don't deserve to. This pervert, however, did not get arrested because the daughter, for whatever reason, she had such an attachment. It's her father. You know what I mean? So she didn't follow through with all the charges, but we did expose the hell out of him. He, there's no reform or rehab for these perverts, like we said before. So needless to say, that one went null and void. But a couple other ones that I did, they got arrested right on the spot. It's been absolutely amazing.
Crazy. Get back to your felony, because I know I jumped the gun. I didn't answer it. I know the viewers are like, man, Phil, you cut him off. We want to know what the hell happened. What'd he do?
This guy's a felon.
Yeah, this guy's a felon. What the hell did he do?
Racketeering charges, a few things. Put it under the rug.
Whacked a few people. What'd you do? Come on.
One or two. No, hold on.
Especially when you're beating people up all the fucking time.
Yeah, man. No, as as a youngster, I'm 45 years old, 2005. You do the math. I play pool. And I was a hustler in pool, man. Like, me and my buddies, we all spent. I grew up with a table.
Were you any good?
Look, now I know
You're
he's
being
going to
hustler,
I saw
but
the
were you any
Crown
good?
Royal pool table over
That's
there.
right. That's right.
I was good. I was
Okay.
good. Now I don't know. So remember, I was a hustler. I'm not good. No. So anyway, we were
Well,
playing.
funny story. I used to do that. Me and my boy David. Shout out to David Kane. When I first moved down here, I actually lived on his sofa because he took me in. We didn't have nothing. We had no money and stuff. So every Friday night we would go to billiards and we would play for a pitcher of beer.
Nice.
Pitcher of beer back then was $5 draft,
yeah.
So we had like $20. So we had maybe 4 rounds that we could lose.
Yeah.
And if we were winning, we were staying there all night. We were losing, we were home early, man.
Yeah,
It was
you
just one
go,
of those
man.
things. So,
That's cool.
But that's what you did. You went to the billiards place to hustle a little bit.
Me and this guy Gabe, he was a friend of mine back then. He's not a friend anymore, so
Hey.
he ratted me out anyway. So he was my co-defendant in this whole thing, and he wound up going state's evidence against me. I haven't talked to him in years. God bless him. Whatever.
Wait a second. Let's think about this for a second, because you said he ratted you out.
Yeah.
You did something wrong.
I did.
You admitted it.
I beat the hell out of somebody, took the money that this is how I became a felon, folks, and I'll tell you now. Long before I was an addict long before I was an addict, I was a young guy. I was hustling pool, drinking beers, doing this, doing that, going bar to bar. We were playing pool in a pool hall in Naples, Florida. Had a beautiful house in Naples. I made a real nice living for myself, but we were just hustling, playing pool. And needless to say, we found these college punks. And I don't mean to say that to anybody who's going to college at that time. I thought, hey, look at these college punks. Let's hustle them. So we start playing them for pool, $20 a game, $20 a game, $20 a game. Then we went to a ball, $10 a ball. Needless to say, we win some, lose some, lose some, lose some, win all. They said, F you, we know you're hustling us, we're not paying you at the end. That was like $700-something, whatever the case may be. We were drunk out of our minds, me and Gabe. These guys says, F you. Now, back then, I was a black belt. You know what I mean? I'm a second-degree black belt. So I'm like, man, you're not going to pay us? Okay, well, let's go outside. They right away, well, let's go outside.
Yeah, you're small.
Yeah, I'm a wimp. I'm a bitch.
It's like dynamite, right?
Yeah, bro.
Dynamite small
Let me
makes
tell
a
you,
big ass
highly
boom,
trained.
baby.
Yeah, I'm highly trained, baby. So we go outside, and these guys are cursing at us, and they got beer muscles. We got beer muscles. Wound up beating them. Now, my buddy, Gabe, ex-buddy, snitch, had a badge on him, a fake police badge. And he tells them at the end, we're cops. And I run with the story. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, we're officers, man. You're lucky we're not taking you in. Blah, blah, blah. Let me see. I even took her. Let me see your ID. So, did the whole 9 yards, dude. I was guilty as charged, impersonating a police officer, snatching grab robbery for taking the money that they owed us. I even left $120 in the guy's wallet that he didn't owe us, dude. I took everything that he owed us.
You.
Yeah,
Right,
it was an honest crook,
All right.
And make a long story short, man, we thought the whole thing through as we're driving away, except for the fact that we're driving away in his heating and air conditioning van with the phone number on the side of it. Obviously, they took pictures, and we get calls from the police. They want us to turn ourselves in. I was a fugitive of justice for 2 weeks. And I'm like, I ain't turning myself in. Hell no. He's like, dude, we got to. And I'm thinking in my head, man, you better not snitch. Anyway, he goes and turns himself in. He's the owner of the company, or he worked for the company. Of course he's going to turn himself in. Wow. Now I'm scot-free. I'm like, dude, don't snitch me out, bro. I'm sorry. I can't, bro, I'll help you with legal fees, whatever. Next thing you know, hi, Shane Coyle, this is Detective Anstad. How are you? Blah, blah, blah. Gabriel let us know.
Is that when you went with the little girl voice?
That's where the voice really came.
Hello? No, Shayna's not here.
Needless to say, dude, I wound up, talking to this detective. I'm like, dude, F you, I ain't turning myself. He's like, well, we're filing charges on you for snatch and grab robbery, impersonating a Leo, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, damn. So I went like another 3 days with, boom, on the TV, Crime Stoppers. Have you seen Shane Coyle suspectedly armed and dangerous? I'm like, what the hell, dude? I'm all over. So I'm like, I got to turn myself in now. Everybody's ringing my phone like, dude, you're wanted. I'm like, oh, no, where? Yeah, I know I am. So I became a felon by just pleading out, dude. I was guilty as charged. He went state's evidence against me, wrote a whole statement that it was my idea to beat them up, that I had the badge, which I really didn't. Your punk ass uncle was the cop that you stole the badge from. You remember, Gabe. Sorry. And needless, we're talking like 15, 20 years almost, so it don't matter. Needless to say, I had to cut a plea. They were hitting me with almost 11, 12 years. They're like, dude, look, state's offering you 11 years. I'm like, oh, tell the state to go after themselves. I'm not taking no 11 yet. Let's fight it, trial. So we started going through the whole process. We were almost going to go to trial. It lasted 8 months of continuations. And finally, the lawyer's like, dude, you're effed. You're screwed. Like, take a deal. I'm like, I'm not taking 11 years. I'm having a daughter. No way in hell. He's like, bro, I could get you a year and a day. I was like, the hell with that. Hell no. Wound up literally sticking to my guns. And then finally, the state came back to him. Hey, listen, we'll put him on 5 years paper probation. Will he take that? I said, you know what? Give me the paper. Give me the probation. I almost go 5 years, okay, with no trouble, no nothing. But then I get introduced to drugs. I mean, God, man, dude. I was a not professional, but I was a fighter, fighting in octagons, fighting in backyards, and dating a doctor at the time. Now, mind you, she was effed up on cocaine and pills, which I didn't know. She made very well aware to me after she handed me a bottle of oxycodones. And it was like the best thing to me at the time since sliced white bread. And wound up starting eating roxycodones like they're going out of style, became an addict, violated probation because then I'm not getting prescriptions of these things. I wound up getting caught with a bunch of them in a car with 2 pairs of brass knuckles, get violated on probation. I mean, wound up going to prison for 4 years, 9 months. I mean, it was pretty intense.
So you served.
Yes, 4 years, man. Over 4 years. Yeah, bro. Yeah, Florida State Prison, man. FSP, one of the hardest prisons in Florida. Thank God I was a fighter, man. You know,
what was that like, man? What was that like? What was the first day walking in there?
Yeah, the first day, well, I'll tell you what.
Is it like the movies?
Yeah, it's exactly like the movies. Kids, if you're watching this right now and you think of breaking the law, let me tell you something. All the guys with the tattoos on their faces and the gangsters and this and that, it goes on there. And you will become a victim if you're not somebody who knows how to handle yourself or ever been in a fight. If you're not a fighter and you go to prison, you will get hurt. You will get robbed. You possibly will get raped. And luckily, thank God, my father... A lot of it, man. I stuck up for a lot of the guys. A lot of the guys in there that were getting that happening to them, extortion, all of that stuff. I became the white knight of prison. I really was, man. People knew, you know, I mean, I got my scars. I got hit over here with a blade on my rib cage. I got 13 stitches in the side, and, you know, but they knew I wasn't going down without a fight. I'm a fighter, dude, you know. You damn sure weren't taking my stuff or any of my friends' stuff that were in my pod. You know what I mean?
So I think it's kind of funny, man, because I look at like the circle of life, and I always tell people, you know, God's got things for a reason. You know, you go through things in life, you may not understand them right away. But when you look, and I'm just looking very low, you know, just from what you stated,
yes, sir,
where your life, where it is today, but where it came from, being a felon, you know, having a daughter, going to prison for it. But then in prison, you decide, I'm the white knight. And I'm the guy that's going to help you. I'm gonna be the Superman of prison.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to look out for everybody and do the right thing to try to save some of what's right and what's wrong. And then you get out, you get clean. You've been sober how long?
Man, well, right now I got over 100 days clean.
All
Listen,
right.
I keep it on my chest right here.
Congrats.
Boom, this is my
See, I mean, everybody that has demons in their lives, and you guys need to look at it. If you got demons in your life, you can overcome them, man.
Yeah, brother.
You just got to have the want to.
Amen.
And you have to start. You got to start with day one. And that's the part people are like, oh, I could never. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, you can.
It's possible,
But not only that, but then you turn around and you make this incredible movement.
Yeah, bro.
To go out there and go after these predators, and you're not even getting paid for this stuff. Dude.
Hell no, man.
You know, this is not something where, hey, we're going to pay you thousands and thousands of dollars to help us catch predators and stuff.
Nah, bro.
Which in my mind, you should be at this point. I mean, you've caught well over what, 600 predators?
Hundreds, yeah.
You know, and like that. And you're doing it clearly out of your own pocket and clearly just to get these people off the freaking streets.
Yeah, dude. My one decoy, Jay the Beast, big shout to Jay the Beast, GOTC. He's got his own organization going. He's got over 47 convictions. Now, listen, we get these guys arrested. It's hard to get convictions. But what you're speaking on is 100% right, man. You know, the truth of the matter is, bro, I know in my heart, sober, I know I'm a good person. If I'm high and I'm a bad person to myself. I suffer with depression. I suffer with anxiety, man. I was in a foster home as a kid. I mean, all of that stuff plays part, you know, and this is what I teach in the schools too, man. Your traumas are your biggest vice. Your traumas, if not spoken about, if not brought up to a counselor, if not brought out to light, your traumas will bring darkness to you no matter what. So I teach people to shed light on darkness. Aside from the predators, I shed light on that darkness big time. But inside yourself, man, if you're somebody out there and you're suffering with depression, chances are of self-medicating are pretty high. You're going to self-medicate. You're going to drink. You're going to get high. You're going to do this drug, that drug, this drug. But the fact of the matter is, you know who you are. You know what I mean? And who you are being drugged up and doped up and drunk, that's not who you are. It's a mask.
You know,
put these masks
don't you
on.
feel like a lot of people though that are higher up, these celebrities? I know you know Aaron Carter.
Absolutely, yes,
I know.
sir.
You actually worked for him, right?
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
you protect
I
him?
managed him for a while.
Managed him. He was manager. and
Yeah, it was
stuff.
more
And-
like his go-to guy. If somebody messed with him, I would fly out to their state and stop them from messing with him back
Really?
then. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, and you saw it right there. You saw the mental health and how
Yeah,
addiction can really change somebody's life.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, if they don't stop, nothing you can do.
There's nothing, man. It all ends in death, folks. It all ends in death. Depression, mental illness, addiction. It's all one animal, one villain. Now, if you think of it like this, like, damn, I'm so depressed, and you lay in bed and you sit isolated and you just be depressed, what do you think you're going to be? You're going to be depressed.
Right.
But if you notice, the first telltale sign of depression is isolation, of course, or just negative thoughts. If you notice these things, you recognize these habitual happenings of isolation, drugging, drinking. Man, if you recognize them, why not change them? And the fact is, there's help out there. If you or a loved one is suffering with active addiction and you know it, why not help yourself or help them? You know what I mean? Like, because life isn't about drugs and alcohol and depression. Life is about happiness. Everybody in the world is deserving of love, joy, and happiness. You know what I'm saying, brother?
Amen.
When I
Amen.
came onto your podcast, I'm like, dude, this guy is positive as anything. I almost said
Like
positive.
right there, trying to sweat you. Stay positive,
Boom,
baby.
that's it. Look at
That's
this,
it.
man.
Stay
Bro,
positive.
I'm gonna rock
That's
this
right.
shirt. I need a shirt for my daughter too.
Absolutely. We're
Gianna
gonna-
needs a shirt too, and my son, my 10-year-old son. Man, we gotta,
Yeah.
you know, and that's really ultimately. Now, look, man, your followers might go and Google search me, and you're gonna see, oh, he was a mafia member, he's a drug addict, he ripped this person off. Dude, all of those things, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Right now, what I stand for is what I stand for, and I stand here in front of you 100% sober, loving and caring. There's not a person in the world that could make me change that. You know what I mean?
You know, that's what I love, and that's what my whole movement's about.
Absolutely.
Is taking the ordinary and letting them show that they can become extraordinary.
Absolutely, bro.
And it doesn't matter what your past is. Your past doesn't define your future.
Not at
You
all.
know, and so many times people think, oh, it has to. You know, because I did this and this, I'm going to always have this on my conscience. I'm going to always be, and unfortunately, suicide becomes big because
man.
of that.
Listen, I was
You know?
suicidal back. I was suicidal.
Yeah.
You know, what you're saying right now is so spot on, Phil. That's why, I'm like, damn it. I was meant to sit here with you, bro. I could talk to you for hours, bro. I've watched several of your podcasts, and you have a very keen sense of intuition, of knowing what people are about, bro. And you're dead right, dude. Like, my past, listen, if you look me up on paper, the most average working corporate America person wouldn't mess with me. They wouldn't want to talk to me.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, you sit down with me, you're going to see who I am. You know what I mean? And you'll realize like, yo, this guy is somebody. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. And that's what I try to push too. Like when I speak at these schools, every person in that school is not a positive person. You know, you look at the ratio, if there's 600 students, at least 200 of them might be F-ups in their mind.
Right.
It's the F-ups that actually have the most beautiful minds in the world, man. I've met so many great
I
minds.
think it's so much more important to have somebody to go into a school system like yourself.
Thank you, brother.
Okay. That's been down before, that's been through prison, had some hard
Absolutely.
life, and realize that, hey, life's a little different and I can make a difference.
Yeah,
so I'm going to take the time. You don't need to be an athlete. You don't need a
Yeah,
professional
man.
celebrity. You have more say than them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%,
Realistically.
bro.
Because these kids are looking up to people they don't even know.
Dude, it's
Okay?
crazy. And
And
look
that's
at
it's a
now.
reality. Oh, yeah.
Look at Diddy.
Yeah.
Look at this, man. You know how many times I rock?
What about
listen-
that Diddy stuff,
Oh,
man?
bro,
Come on. I mean, you're dealing with
crazy.
sexual predators. You ever seen 1,000 bottles of baby oil? I mean, what are these people?
Like, dude,
I mean,
this guy.
oh my God. You know, that just made me sick just thinking about that.
Me
Because
too,
we're
bro.
talking about younger kids,
Oh,
you know,
man.
and these older men. And let me ask you something. What about the opposite? Do women go after little
yeah,
boys?
absolutely.
Do you ever catch any of them?
I got only two.
You got a little
couples.
boy's voice? Let me hear it.
No,
Come
you
on,
know what?
little boy
My
voice.
little boy voice ain't no good. My buddy Jay the Beast from GOTC, he's got the best little boy voice in the world, bro.
But does that happen? Like, you go after the girls,
absolutely,
women too?
bro, yeah. And then, you know, I'll get on Grindr. A good friend of mine owns an organization called Bikers Against Predators. His name's Boots. All right. He jumps on Grindr all the time as a little boy. and you'll get all these, the homosexual crowd that's
Right.
attracted to little boys. Yeah, bro. No, I busted 2 couples, believe it or not, in the past. This is before I had police involvement. It was a woman and her husband that were trying to get a little girl to have a 3-way. Yeah, dude, it happens.
What?
Very rarely have I seen it.
Married couple trying to get a little
girl.
little
A
girl,
little girl.
for a 3-way.
Yeah, it was twice, two little girls.
Yeah,
it's pretty sick, dude.
that's sick. Yeah, that
Yeah,
person
my
needs-
buddy,
Tell me you got them. They're gone.
Oh, bro.
They're
Back then,
arrested.
they didn't get arrested because I didn't have police involvement, but I exposed the hell
Let's
out
talk
of them,
about that now. So right now, obviously, you've learned things that you can do to get people to
yeah.
stick
Yeah.
versus what you can't. Because the reality, it's hearsay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And can you record somebody legally? Or
Oh, yeah.
not? How are you doing it? You got the internet. You got so much access to so many different things.
Yeah.
Is it AI generated? Is it real? Is it not real? Blah blah blah. But now you're working actually with police
Oh,
officers.
dude.
So walk us through, if you we call somebody right now, we were able to
yeah.
get somebody on the phone. They want to
Absolutely.
go meet up. What would you? You call the police local company?
Automatically, I'll basically upload. I'll record everything. That's why I have 4 phones with me. I'll record. Now we live in a one-party state, which is great. You know what I mean? You don't have to tell them you're recording. Ultimately, what happens is we begin a chat log. Okay. The chat log starts on whatever application. Majority of the time, it's on Whisper or Meet Me. There's different applications that these perverts. They're on every app. So we make sure that our decoys, screenshot and log every single. If you do so much as say hi, it's a screenshot, boom, screenshot, and we build these Google albums. The Google album will be everything that police need from beginning to the end. The profile of the predator, our decoy profile, every single chat log. I mean, it's all logged. They click a link, boom, the police have every bit of evidence right in front of them. When I call the pervert, the call is recorded. That gets uploaded to the file link. Ultimately, it's just make sure that you are literally capturing and memorializing every single interaction with these perverts. This way, the police, a defense attorney, any defense attorney out there that defends child predators,
Right.
by the way, any of you guys that do that, I can't stand them.
It's a job, man. It's a
Yeah,
job.
yeah, I understand that
job.
too, but to
Yeah.
a certain extent, I got a little beef with a couple of them that knew these guys were guilty, and it's like, all right, I get it, you're a lawyer, unfortunately, I got some great lawyers in the family, but it's just something I never understood. Like, dude, if you know they're guilty, why are you defending them? But anyway,
That's a whole nother podcast right
I digress.
there, man.
I digress.
Especially with murder and everything else.
Sir,
Like,
dude.
yeah.
I
Did
digress.
OJ do it or didn't he?
Yeah, I
You know?
digress. We'll jump back on. So ultimately, man, we record every aspect of it, man. Our organization, Child Safety Soldiers and GOTC, we pride ourselves on the compilation of evidence that my buddy Jay the Beast, who's my best decoy, he's the director of my decoys, now owning his own organization, GOTC, prides ourselves on. Everything. If you do so much, it'd be like me right here, just sitting with a video camera in your face talking to you. And I mean, you do so much as breathe. It's evidence.
Right.
Because if you miss one thing, an attorney, any good attorney will poke holes in it like Swiss cheese. You know what I mean? And I learned that through trial and error, bro. I did over the years, man. I've messed up a case before, man. I had a guy. I think I sent it to your producer, Alexander. I had a guy, his name was Guy. It's kind of weird. I had a guy named Guy. And it's the most notable one that I'm
Wait,
mostly...
I think there's a guy on the Golden Bachelor named Guy.
I wonder if it's him.
I wonder if it ain't him. I hope it's not him, man.
No, this guy was 52 years old.
Well, that'd be the Golden Bachelor.
oh,
I
man,
know.
hey, I'm
Maybe they
coming
were
for you.
60. Maybe they were 60.
So needless to say, this is when I first started, and I just started getting police involvement, but they were real skeptical. They're like, dude, oh, you're that vigilante guy? All right, we'll come out to the scene. We'll see. I'm not a vigilante, man. I'm not seeking justice on my own. I'm trying to get them taken off the streets. But anyway, I busted this truck driver. It's the one I'm mainly known for.
Yeah.
I actually made this guy get a tattoo of my organization on his arm, and I'll tell you how that worked. Check this out, Phil.
I'm not bringing you to jail if you get a tattaoo.
No, it was better. It was better. Now, mind you, the name of my organization back then was The Ultimate Decoy, TUD, TUD. This pervert was such a sick bastard, falling in love. Oh, I love you. So I played up on him. I'm like,
All right, so you really love me?
he's like, yeah, I love you.
So would you get a tattoo of my name?
What?
Now he's like, yeah, of course, but what's your name?
It's Todd.
Bro, Phil. And my voice is raspy,
Oh my
folks,
God.
I'll tell you right now.
Tell me he showed up with a tattoo
Brother,
on.
Dr. Phil headlined it. Dr.
This
Phil
is
showed it.
hysterical,
This
man.
pervert, he shows up. I say, hey, guy, how you doing? You want to do me a favor? Let me take a look at your left arm. He's like, pulls his arm, it says TUD real big. This pervert was so infatuated with this little girl, which was me as a 15-year-old little girl, that he went and got her name, which was Tud, tattooed on his arm. The cops, they're like, bro, oh my God, this is funny, because they watch me too.
Yeah.
Now, he would have been hauled off to prison. He'd still be in prison today if it wasn't for my mess up. And let this be a reminder to anybody out there that ever decides they're going to go and hunt and expose child predators. I always preach spreading the movement, creating teams in every city and every state in the United States, but you got to have police involvement, okay? And you got to know your stuff. This was something that I learned through trial and error. Now I'm looking at the chat message between me and this pervert, and I'm posting them online. Now, mind you, I didn't want to post the vulgar stuff like him talking about, would you suck my blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, I'll delete that text. I deleted like 4 texts, okay? The cops, they're like, sorry.
Is that one? We got to pick it up?
No.
We got to pick it up?
This is another Jack calling me. Could be a pervert. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. So mind you, I deleted 4 texts, okay? Deleting evidence is tampering with evidence, even if you're on the side of the good guys.
Right.
So when they get, I mean, I spent 6 hours while they're doing a forensic dump of my cell phone from their car. They loved everything. They seen it all. And then the cop comes up to me, he goes, and this is a good friend of mine now, this detective. He's in charge of ICAC, Internet Crimes Against Children, out there in Broward County, man. God bless you. Polk County, Polk County, Florida. Sheriff Grady, God bless you. He says, dude, we see that you deleted 4 texts. I'm like, hell yeah, bro. I was going to post them up. He's like, dude, you just screwed up. He's like, I really should be arresting you right now. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I didn't know.
Right.
I had no idea. So through trial and error, people, if you're out there and you're hunting and exposing child predators, don't ever delete a text. You could be arrested. Needless to say, he couldn't arrest him because of that. He's like, dude, if I arrest him, I got to arrest you. Because he deleted all his stuff. And they were telling me, like, dude, he's tampering with evidence. We're going to arrest him on that alone. They had to let him go, bro. And that one still sits in my mind, like, on a daily basis. And I better not put this out there. I was going to say I'm going to find him, but nah.
No, I think you should.
I really am.
I think you should.
Honestly,
I think you should find him and maybe
just put some decoy profiles out there. Yeah,
put
dude.
Dutt on his other arm. Get a tattoo.
Tud.
No, don't do it opposite. Dutt. So it's opposite, so you won't
decoy
know.
Ultimate T. That's good, Phil.
You know what I mean? That'll have both arms covered.
Yo, it's crazy because that was my I had 17,000 people watching my Facebook Live that night. And back then, dude, it was like, man, I was just up and coming. Now we've got over 278 teams nationwide, and every single one of these teams is most of them are getting arrests.
Right.
It took me getting on the Dr. Phil show saying, hey, look, I know I'm the one that kicked this movement off, but I ain't going to do it no more unless there's police involvement. That kind of really sparked a lot, man. And,
that's good.
Well,
you know what? I talked to the mayor in the city coming here. I called over there and I talked to the chief of police. And I asked him because I was curious. I was like, hey, man, if there's a predator, actively, trying to pursue, a child.
Oh, yeah.
You get that phone call. What are you doing? Like, is that a red alert? Boom,
Absolutely,
you guys take that shit serious or what? And they're 100% down. They're like,
bro,
yeah, man, we're on that.
Let's
stuff.
make it happen, man.
So yeah, man, they're definitely. I think you're on the right path.
Let's make it happen,
of what you're doing and stuff. Let me ask you real quick though, because of with social media, because of the internet and everything being out there, and now you are open. People know what you're doing.
Yeah.
People hear the voice. Are you a little bit worried that some of these cycles are going to know who you are?
You know what? I'm praying to God that they actually know who I am and that they get worried. Because look, if a child predator is preying on a child and they think they're going to get away with it and they think they're so slick, they're going to continue to do it. But if a child predator sees me or my team out there and we're coming for you, you're going to fear us. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not worried about them being psychos because these are weak-minded individuals. Don't get me wrong, dude. I've had my fair share of people trying to come at me.
I was going to say, you get nervous? You get worried about? I mean, come on. Some people, they're like, okay, this guy can mess up my whole life, you know, because I made a bad decision too.
Yeah.
And you know, they want to hurt you or harm you.
You know, it's already happened. It's already been attempted. I'm still sitting here.
Yeah.
I'm not worried, not the least bit. I got God on my side. I'm a Christian, diehard Christian. I know that these individuals are working for the devil. I work for the man upstairs.
Amen.
If God is with us, who could be against us, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
It's ultimately, man, it's you know, it's God's work. It really is, man, because every single time I get on a stage in front of 100 or 200, 300 students, every single one of them, there's one of them, even if I just get through to one out there and make them feel a little more safe, man, I've done my job, but I'm getting through to a lot more than just one student. I'm getting through right now, right here on your podcast. This is huge, bro. This is a great outlet for awareness, dude. You're one of the most positive influences out there on podcasts, you know, in podcast, you know, happenings. And just to be able to be that voice, knowing that these child predators, man, they got to. I've had child predators actually say, oh, you know, talking to me as a little girl, mention other organizations like, oh, well, there's these guys out there that hunt predators and I don't want to get in trouble. It's like, all right, so do you think I'm, you know, I pretend like, oh, but dude, they're in fear.
Yeah.
And we want to create that fear because fear will stop someone in their tracks.
Sure.
Now, of course,
And at the end of the day, you're doing the same thing. Because
Absolutely.
ultimately, that's all you want. You want to protect
these kids,
these
man.
kids.
And we want to prevent.
And maybe they'll think twice from
Absolutely.
calling that ad in the paper. And,
It's crazy, bro. It's absolutely insane. You know, I want to mention this. Really good friend of mine, really good influential person, Tracy Arlington. She has something called Chihuahua Crazy. And I teach this in the schools. And I always give her the credit because she's the mastermind behind it. What I do is I teach parents to teach their children to be Chihuahua crazy. Now, people say all the time, Shane, what the hell is Chihuahua crazy? Put it like this. If you have a neighbor, okay, and he invites you over for dinner for the first time, you come over for dinner for the first time, and you walk in the house, you know, you go there, and there's these two little cute-ass little Chihuahuas on the floor. Oh, look at the little Chihuahua. You're going to bend down, lean down, and pet. They're going to bark. They're going to go crazy. You're going to be like, oh, my big man scared of little Chihuahua, right? You're going to be like, oh, God, I want to get bit by that little Chihuahua. You got to teach your children the same thing, to be crazy. If a predator, a person that they don't know approaches them in any situation, any scenario, be as loud as they can. This is not my dad. This is not my, help me, somebody. You have to go Chihuahua crazy. You teach your child to be Chihuahua crazy.
I like that, yeah.
And dude, it will lessen the percentage of them getting abducted by 50%, man. Like, I'll tell you what, I know if I'm walking in a store, walking to do something, and all of a sudden there's a spotlight shined on me, doing what I'm not supposed to do, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Your children have to be that spotlight. They have to be Chihuahua crazy. Big shout, Tracy Arlington.
That's well said, man. Well said.
Play it safe, kids.
You know, and it's so funny because a lot of kids don't realize the intentions that are behind that.
No, dude.
You know, and I think that's the important thing. And that's, you know, just hearing your story and hearing some of these things. I mean, you told me about the tattoo. Is there, what is the craziest thing besides the tattoos? You guys have some goals, man. What is one of the
There's
craziest?
hundreds. There's tons.
Give me one of those things out there you're like, wow, I can't even believe this.
I had
I
had an armed security guard, you know, with a gun, which he claimed he didn't have the gun. I wound up seeing that he had a gun in the back seat. I mean, there's so many. I had a Disneyland worker, dude. Now listen, check this out, Phil. All kids, everybody loves Disneyland, right?
Yeah.
You never expect the guy that's buckling the seatbelt on your child on the ride is a child predator. This sick bastard was a child predator. He thought I was a 13-year-old little girl. And mind you, exposing him brought so much joy to me. It didn't go exactly in accordance with the law. It was more along the lines of like, yeah, dude, you know, he's not going to do it anymore. Let's put it that way. It was before I had police involvement. It wasn't about that. It was about this. You know what I mean? It's no longer about that for me. Like, I won't do a bust unless police are involved. And police everywhere we're working now are involved. But yeah, Disneyland worker, man, school teacher, police officer, off-duty retired police officer. You name it, dude. Every walk of life. Like, you can get... I just spoke in Michigan at the university, and I put picture of 5 people up on the screen, 5 regular Joes, all right? 5 people. And I told all the crowd, I said, do me a favor. I said, one of them is a child predator. I said, I want you to look up there and analyze every single person and tell me which one you think is the child predator. I went around the room, like, oh, the guy with the glass only because he just looks there. Oh, the guy with the white hair only because... Mind you, every single one of them on that screen was a child predator. And I said, well, listen, you're all right. Every single one of them is a child predator. You have to, as a parent, assume the worst and make sure that you prepare for the worst.
Right.
Any person you meet, you could have somebody coming over for years, inviting themselves to, coming to your parties, coming to your barbecues. And next thing you know, you hear he's an psycho axe murderer that's got people chopped up in his basement, Jeffrey Dahmer,
Right.
Like, that's how I think. And going to prison really orchestrated that in my mind. I saw so many little old decrepit men that would walk around like this, and they're so nice. And I learned that serial killers are 30 kids. You know what I mean? Like, I look at everybody as the enemy until you give me a reason to be my friend.
Right.
That's how I got to be as a parent. Yeah. Nobody goes around my kids, not if I don't know you. Hell no. You know what I mean?
Well, it's so funny in today's day and age. I talk about this all the time. You don't know what your kids are doing because they have phones and everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, growing up, when I grew up at home, my father knew who was calling.
Oh, yeah.
Because he had to answer the phone.
Yeah, bro.
You know what
absolutely.
I mean? We didn't have
there
cell
was
phones.
no Facebook and all this
none
nonsense,
of that crap.
bro.
You know what I mean? So it was like, who you calling? What do you want with Phil? You know?
Dude. Getting a phone in your
What's
bedroom.
your name? What do you want?
Yeah.
Everything else. So,
getting a
but
phone
nowadays,
in your room was huge.
My kids growing up, I don't know who the hell they're talking to.
Hell no, man.
You know, and
you
what's
won't
going on.
unless,
They have access to so many things and all these different sites and
it's
porn,
crazy,
the whole
bro.
thing. It's all out
crazy.
there.
And the thing is, you have, as a father and as a mother, to all the mothers out there, God bless you as well. As a parent, you have to just assume that your kids are in danger anytime they get on a social media app. You have to, because if not, you're going to assume that they're not in danger. And when you assume that nothing's going to happen, it's usually when it does, and it hits you out of nowhere. I've got a lot of friends that are survivors. I got a lot of friends that have lost their kids to abduction and kidnapping and murder. I've got a lot of friends out there that are still dealing with ongoing cases of scumbags that have molested their kids. I got a lot of friends that are survivors themselves. It's like, yo, listen, it's almost getting to the point in today's day and age in society that you're the minority when you didn't have something happen to you.
You know
because
what?
It's so prevalent.
You're right. And one of the statistics that we pulled that we found out when Seth was on our show was that 1 out of every 4 people have been...
It's sad. It's sad, man.
Been raped or molested.
It's sad.
You know what I mean?
It's horribly sad. It's horrifying. And that's why I do this, man. I do this because, not just because my daughter was preyed on by a child predator. And I don't put this out there too much, but I'm going to say this. I was in a foster care for many years as a kid, and I know my older brother in the same room as me went through a lot of stuff. And I had to be part of that, and I'll leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? So there's a vendetta against these scumbags for me beyond just my daughter.
Right.
And
yeah, but you know what? You took something that was negative and you're turning it around to find a positive movement. And that's and that's the greatest thing that you're doing. And you know what? I want the viewers to know this too, because this is something that still baffles me. You do it absolutely free.
Yeah, brother.
Like, you don't take a penny. Like, this man right here will carry 4 phones. He's paying his own phone bill. He's traveling. He will get on a plane. He will go out there. He will bust people himself with his own money. Like, he's not getting funded. There's got to be a time when that turns, man. You're doing, you know how much more you could do, I bet, if you could get funded, if you could get the money to help catch these people.
You know what it is, man? And to be 100% transparent with you, Phil, I used to live a negative life, man. Back in the day when I was on drugs and all that stuff, I was known as a con artist or this or that. I was on a TV show on MTV called From G's to Gents.
G's to Gents?
Yeah.
You were on G's to Gents?
I was on
Were you the G? Maybe you
I
were
was
the
a
G?
gangster. I was a different type of gangster.
And you went from a gangster to a gentleman?
That's what they say. I mean, I don't know. I'm still kind of carrying that G as a trump card.
How far did you get in the show?
It's the final episodes, man. I made it all the way to the last 3, and then it was like, all right, I'm done. How I got on the show was like... Jamie Foxx was the producer, and he's doing a stand-up comedy show, and he's looking in the crowd, and, he's talking to everybody else about being a gangster, grimy, gully, gutter, duh. And I'm thinking, I said, man, are you a G? I said, yeah. I said, I'm a Guinea, I'm a Guido, it's the only G. They liked it. So needless to say, I did the audition, and they loved it. I was involved with some pretty heavy hitters back then, Italians. My father glorified the life. He did. And so did I. Growing up, I had all the guys from the likes of Joey Marlino to, John Stanford talking with my dad, because my dad was a paralegal for Chuck Peruto Jr. Yeah, bro. Chuck Peruto Jr. in South Philly, one of the best attorneys in Philly, by the way. Chuck, God bless you. He was very influential on my father growing up, and I would come out making confirmation, shaking all these Italians' hands, getting $100 bills, $1,700 on my confirmation.
Right.
I don't even know what to spend $10 on. Of course I love the life, I've been on, good friends with Angel Gotti and all of these guys. The Gravesend series on TV. me. Big shout to William DeMeo. If you guys haven't checked it out, check out Gravesend. It's like The Sopranos, but 10 times better.
Yeah.
He was in Sopranos. Needless to say, not, growing up, not the best of ways and glorifying the negativity, blah, blah, blah. Man, I was a hustler, dude. So people, they can always bring up your past and be like, see, you shouldn't give him a dime because look what he did back then. And dude, I kind of stuck with me. So I'm like, man, why am I even to give these haters and these trolls, scumbags, a chance to be like, oh, look, you're... So I don't ask for donations, man. I mean, it'd be great to have sponsorships. Yeah, dude, bro, look, I just went through a crazy breakup, man. I went through an insane breakup that put me into a spin out of relapse that had me in the streets for 10 months couch surfing, bro. I just now recently got a brand new place with my daughter. It's in, it's in a great location. I mean, it's crazy expensive, but yeah, dude, it would be nice to have actual sponsorships, man, such as yourself, dude. I'd love to have your podcast as a sponsor and have you guys on every beginning and ending of every, Predator we bust, because you really have it in your heart.
Absolutely.
I don't want to just take any Tom, Dick, or Harry jewelry store or car dealership like, oh yeah, we represent child safety, but you don't even know what I do. You know what I mean? Like, you spend time with me, dude. I would love that. But as of right now, man, it is what it is. It doesn't cost a lot, bro. Wow. It don't cost a lot to catch a flight. Don't get me wrong. As frequent as we're doing them, yeah, it's getting to be a little crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
you're doing 1,000. You put 1,000 people's away, man.
Yeah,
That's
bro. We're putting tons of predators.
You get calls from police departments and stuff asking you for,
absolutely.
Hey, you got any hits over here?
Big shout out
you
to
get any
all
hits locally here in Cumming?
Dude, absolutely. No, not here. I have two.
Do you have
not
two?
In this town, but in
Atlanta. Anybody we can call right now?
Let's
do it.
I have a phone full of them.
Man.
I've got probably 16, 17.
I want to hear how it goes, dude.
Yeah, man.
Can you put them like on speaker so we can hear them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we could do that, man. And let this just be a disclaimer to everyone out there. These are real individuals that would go after your children. These are perverts that are believing either A, I'm a 13-year-old girl, or B, a 13 to 15-year-old female. I could also call one. I mean, I have a whole selection. We could pick whichever one, but I have two in mind. I have one pervert who's out in Pennsylvania, which actually I'm getting ready to meet up with and bust and expose. And I always do these a lot of the time live anyway, and the police take the recordings of my live as evidence, so it's not that we're doing anything, that's going to mess up a case. These perverts will go after your children. They are somebody that your kid could believe is a 13-year-old boy or a 15-year-old boy. In this case, the pervert, okay, let me see which one exactly. Let me contact one of my decoys. I have one that believes, I also, in fact, we just spoke on this. I have a couple that I'm working on currently, okay? Yeah. Now, I've only busted 2 couples in my past. I have a female that believes I'm a 15-year-old female that wants to have a threesome with her husband with the female. Now, it's a female child predator. I have her, and I also have another pervert that thinks I'm a 13-year-old little girl. So we'll start with, whichever one.
Do you ever get confused, man, because you don't know if you're supposed to be 15 or 13 or
Bro,
what's your name?
Dude, I'll tell you
same
what.
name or opposite name? Like, you ever get confused with that?
I always use, the same name, thankfully. But it does. It gets to be pretty. It's an emotional roller coaster, bro. Because as I told you earlier.
Damn, let's talk about that.
Yeah, bro,
when you think about it, because you're
dude.
sitting there. Some of your conversations. How long are your conversations with these people?
Man, it depends. I mean, bro, sometimes 3-4 months. My buddy from GOTC.
But like when you're on a one call, like what's the longest you ever talked to somebody?
An hour and 45 minutes.
Hour and 45, couple hours. So you're sitting on the phone for a couple hours. You're pretending
as a little
to be
girl.
As a little girl,
boy, yeah.
Talking about all these things, building a relationship with them, trying to get them to come out. They want to see you.
It's crazy, bro.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, man. I remember I watched one of yours. And you asked them for a lambskin condom?
Condoms, yes. And the reason
you said you were allergic. That didn't red flag at all.
Bro, the reason I do that, now listen, I'll be like, all right, so can you get condoms and maybe bring alcohol?
Yeah.
And the reason I do that is because, listen, when we build these cases, there's a method to my madness, and a lot of teams are doing it as well. If the pervert comes to the scene and they say they bring condoms, or they you didn't ask them to bring anything, but they have all these things. Sometimes the perverts have like shovel and lime in their trunk. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if they have everything that I asked for, their intent is proven. You brought lambskin condoms. The little girl asked you for lambskin condoms.
Right.
What did you intend to do?
Well,
the
it's funny you say
intention's
that
there.
because actually speaking to the chief of police, the cop and stuff, they said a lot of times when they set them up, they'll say, hey, meet us, come to Burger King and order an orange
Yes,
Coke.
yes.
Or orange soda, or
it correlates.
So they know exactly. So now they're doing what's being told.
Exactly. And it shows not only their intent, but it correlates with the chatting, the online chats. Because sometimes some of these perverts, I've been to so many cases to where the perverts have either taken it and gotten a lesser deal, a plea bargain, because we weren't able to prove that they came with the intent of sex, but they came to meet a little girl, said they wanted to hang out at their house. Now, if the pervert brought the whole checklist, they brought alcohol, they brought condoms, and it's all not only in text form, it's on the phone form, and it really just builds a stronger case.
So, dude, you're on the phone for a couple hours pretending
sometimes
you're somebody that you're not. Listen, I'm acting right now. I'm actually in a movie coming up here in February.
Nice, bro.
We're shooting. It's called Blood Money 2. Pretty
Blood Money
excited about
2.
it. Blood
Damn,
Money
dude.
2. Yep. I'm
Nice,
Vinny
bro.
the Viper, baby. Vinny the Viper.
Vinny the
will be
Viper, Blood
be
Money
on
2.
Scene. That's right.
Yo, man, you
So
make
we're
sure you
gonna
gotta
be
get that
on scene.
info.
Well, let me tell you, it's hard. Like, acting's hard. Like, and if you're spending a couple hours pretending you're somebody you're not. What is it like with your kids, man? You get off the phone and there's your kids.
Phil.
How do you transition that?
Bro, Phil, let me tell you. In fact, I'm going to share something with you that I never really said out publicly online before. My whole life, brother, I've always pretended to be something I wasn't. I always pretended as a kid. I was never, but I was never successful, but I always wanted to be around the successful people because you are who you hang out with, right?
100%.
So my whole life as a kid, especially when I was on drugs, I was always pretending to be this big famous guy. I was on MTV. Yeah, okay, you had a little 15 minutes of fame, but I made that 15 minutes last 15 years, you know what I mean? By pretending I had bigger things going. So it came naturally to me, you know what I mean? I'm Italian and Irish, but I favor my Italian side, obviously.
There
you know what I
we go.
mean?
Yeah.
Favor the gays. We got to favor ourselves.
right.
But, I always pretended to be this big, huge thing. And after a while, I believed I was, and I really became. I was somewhat of an enforcer, so to speak, in many ways. And it comes naturally to me because, look, now I'm no longer pretending to be something that I'm not because I want to be that person. I'm pretending to be a little girl or a little boy because I want to keep those people that are little girls and little boys safe. So it's natural to me, man. It came naturally as a character defect, but now it's my character trait.
Yeah.
I'm a lion, dude. I'm a lion. We both share almost the same tattoos. I got lions on my chest. I'm lion-hearted, dude. So when I'm pretending to be a little girl, I know that there's a little girl out there that really is being molested or being preyed on by a predator. So I'm doing it for that little girl. Yeah. I'm doing it for that little boy.
What do your kids think, man? How do they feel about it?
They love it. My kids are so well versed in child predatorial nature. Man, my son, he's a hardcore gamer. He'll send me.
Is he a black belt too?
Yeah, man. No, not yet. My son's a boxer, man. My son's he's an AAU basketball, just great, dude. Yeah. My son scored 26 points in a game. I mean, he's fired, dude. Big shout to my son, Shane Jr. They absolutely love what I do because they know that I'm doing it from my heart.
Can you do the voices? Can he do the voices? Shane Jr. I mean, can Shane do the voices?
No, I can't do my son.
No, but I'm saying, can he do voices?
Oh yeah, dude.
Can he sound like a little girl too?
Yo, my son, he could do a little girl's voice. I'm like, how'd you learn how to do this?
Dad.
He can do, yeah, dude. I'm like, how did I pass that gene of being able to do voice? I used to think I had a third ventricular, like a parakeet in my voice or something. Yeah. But my son, he could do little girls' voices, bro. My daughter could do a man's voice. Yeah. My daughter could do a hardcore little.
You got a little family business right there, man.
We got child predator hunters in the making. And that's what I wanted to create. I
love it. I love it.
Ultimately, man, my son and my daughter. It's sad. Oh, listen, might be a child predator calling me right now. Hold on.
Take it live. Take it live. Let's roll.
Here we go. Ready in 3, 2. Oh wait.
Hello.
Okay, he hung up. This is a predator calling. All right, this is a child predator calling, age 34, named Charles. Okay. Hey, okay, hold on. Let me just check with my decoy. Beth, my bad, brother.
I like this.
Duty calls, brother.
Hey, let's go. We're going live, baby.
All right, ready? Hold on. Let me check with Beth real quick. Hold on. I'm going to call Beth. This is my decoy.
Hello?
Hi, Beth. I have you live on the Wham Bam podcast right now. My brother, Phil. Beth, I just received
Try calling.
Okay, this is the pervert, Charles, age 34.
Correct.
Decoy, age 13.
Yes.
Female.
Correct.
On it. All right, I'm going to call this pervert back. All right, thank you very much. I might wind up calling the female as well. If not, let's just get this bastard, all right?
Yeah. He's ready.
Make sure that you're logging everything into the police database as far as the...
I've been doing it.
Good. All right, God bless you. Talk to you soon. Perfect. Yeah, let's call this pervert now. Man, damn, it's crazy.
Yeah,
And
see how it happens?
Bro, this happens
God works
all
in funny
day
ways,
long,
baby.
dude. All day long. All right. All right, let me call this pervert. I'm Jennifer Adelia. Here we go. I fall into character now. Here we
Yeah.
go. All right. Calling. He'll pick up. I'm going to hang up this way. I don't see him now. Let me text him. Hold on. Sometimes what these perverts are, they're married. So they'll call when they're not around their wife or their girlfriend, and then they'll not answer because they are around. So they dip off. So now that's what's happening. I can guarantee you. Hey, call me back. OMG. You ignored me. I have to be little, you know. You ignored me. Do you not like me anymore? You have to be a 13-year-old mind. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
you know, little kids, they don't like being, you know, watch, right? If not, we got plenty more. All right. Let him answer. Let me contact my decoy and make sure. Okay. He didn't answer, but we'll call back.
This is the life
It's crazy, brother.
of Shane. If you wanted to know what the ultimate decoy life is like,
Man.
you're witnessing it live right here on the Wham Bam Podcast.
Amen, brother. Amen. Amen. All right, let me just contact. All right, here we got several. Okay. She goes, here, you got this one. Now, look, I'm going to show you. I won't show the camera, but this is how we compile our evidence. Take a look. That's the link, and that's the pervert right there. You see his face?
Oh, yeah.
Now, obviously, you guys will see him, but when we bust him live. John 40. Okay, hold on. All right, she said. Okay.
What about the phone numbers, man? Where do the phone numbers come from? They all
I
different numbers.
use different applications. I mean, there's several applications out there. Sideline text now. I mean, there's a ton of them, dude. You know, I have 4 separate phones with about 8 different applications on each phone. So I got about 40, 50 numbers, dude. You know.
So it's so easy to do.
Yeah, and what a lot of my officers will do. Oh, he left a voicemail. Let's see what his voicemail said. What a lot of my officers that I work with do. They'll actually take my evidence, they'll read over my chat logs, and then they'll log in to my Text Now app or my applications that I'm talking to these perverts on. This way, then I have police involvement. Because a lot of departments and state statutes, they can't work with civilians. There has to either be a police officer involved or a real child. So I said, you know, after years of doing this and not having police involvement, I'm like, how can I get police involvement? Well, how about this? The police will be involved if you guys log into my chat. Then you're involved. And now, man, every department we do it with. All right, let's see what this pervert's voicemail said. Sorry for the delay, brother.
No, man.
Okay, here's a voicemail. I don't think he left it. Usually they don't leave voicemails. He obviously didn't know he. See, he's talking to somebody, maybe his wife or something. It's a little choppy, but he didn't know he was leaving a voicemail. Okay. Let's try calling this bastard again. If not, we'll call. I got a female, too. Hold on, let's see. Sorry, Phil. I don't mean to delay you like this.
No, man, it's all good.
This is
baby.
what I
It's
do,
all
man. Even
good.
last night in my hotel, man, you guys flew me out here, and I'm in the hotel talking to perverts all night. I'm like, damn, I could be out checking out the town out here, but I got to stay in and talk to perverts, you know, the greater good, bro.
The movement.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, let me see. Let me contact her. All right, she said.
Hey, what's up? Oh my God, I am so sorry. I didn't answer your call before.
Yeah.
Are you mad at me?
Okay.
You're not mad, are you? All right. So I was so worried, like you weren't even real.
Sorry.
And you promise that's really you in the picture? Because you're hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So what's up?
Not much.
Cool. So, all right, you're getting quiet. Do you have like somebody around you or?
I'm just walking, that's all.
Oh, cool. Where are you walking? Duh.
Downtown.
Oh, what's it like over there? Is it hot? Like, what are you doing? Are you there?
Yeah, I think it's his signal. He's walking downtown. Okay, cool. So let me just do this real fast. And this is part of it. Hold on. Hey, do me a favor. Send him a Grabify link. This way we have his IP address, of course, for location. And then send an upload of this audio, which I recorded on Spot, directly to the police. This way we can log this, but I will call him back. He'll probably call me back. I think he hung up because he's either A, around someone, or B, just in a bad signal. Cool. Sorry, it's cool to talk now, man. No. That's a pervert, 34-year-old disgusting scumbag named Charles, which I have his whole identity too. I never call a child predator until I have them fully 100% identified as a real person. A lot of these perverts will use the same applications that I'm using to hide my identity to hide theirs. So how I get around that, well, actually, I probably shouldn't say that on here in case there's a predator.
Right.
Let's give him the.
Look about your secrets, man.
Yeah. Let me tell you, if you're a predator,
let me
you
tell you how
cannot
I'm going
get
to catch your ass.
Yeah, fuck. Excuse my language.
It's already bad enough. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that with your movement, as it keeps growing, getting bigger.
Yeah, man.
It's going to alert some people. But like you said, if it alerts them to the point where they stop doing it, that's at the end of the day.
I got tons of other voices.
That's the result.
The beauty part is I got tons of other voices I can do. I've got tons of other people that are decoys. I want them to be afraid. I want every child predator out there to know, yes, we are coming for you. Yes, we are actively acting like children, and we are going to get you. You are going to come across us, and you are going to get nailed. That's what we want, man. We want these scumbags to be afraid. Hell yeah. Absolutely. You better know, child safety soldiers and GOTC, we're coming for you. Yeah. And we're going to win. It's no holds barred, Yeah. I want you to really see and get a feel for what these people, what they sound like. I mean, you heard him just say hi, but he obviously, let's say, he texted me. Hey, sorry, I had to hang up. I was around. Hey, sorry, Dad. Hey, sorry. And he just sent, look at this, bro. I'm going to show you. This is definitely enough for your viewers. Look what he sent. A picture of his brazo.
Wow.
Hey, sorry.
Well, we don't know if that's really his.
Oh, no, bro. I'll tell you what. Yeah, we don't know.
I mean, it might not be his.
Yeah, it might not be, but
it's something.
Now, listen, I'll tell you
but
how.
It's something.
This is how I get them to incriminate themselves. So I'll say exactly that. Now, here, look. Take a look.
Oh, my God. Is that yours?
Hey, how do I know that's really yours? That's my text. So what I get them to do is send a picture of themselves with their face in it to prove it's really their brazo. You know what I mean? And then there you go. Then they're incriminated. Yeah. Dude, I lock in the charges. Because that could be anybody's
Literally, he just
penis.
sent that picture right now.
He just sent that picture. And
That's
it says,
crazy.
Hey, he said, hey, sorry. I was around other people. And now he's texting again. Hold on. Hey, sorry, I was around other people before. Didn't mean to hang up on you. I wanted to send you this. Do you like it? And then he just sent it to, he's still texting. Hold on. Sick bastard. I can't wait to get this guy. Bro, I get a vendetta, Phil. I'm telling you, bro. You got to come on a bus with me, man.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
He goes, I took that picture earlier today, but you never answered. I guess he called and I didn't see he called. But you never answered. So now look, I'm going to send him a voice text.
Hey, that is so cool. I didn't even really think it was yours. I don't know. Maybe I'll believe you if you take a picture full body, face.
Cool.
I would say it's pretty large.
yeah. I mean, listen.
I mean, for a little girl.
I mean, it's
come
crazy.
on.
Yeah, people like this, these scumbags, bro. They will. Unfortunately, I probably have 400 or 500 penises in my phone.
Oh my
I got to get an
God,
eye full of cock all day long.
Dick
dude.
pics coming all day long.
Sucks, bro. You know
Wait,
what I mean?
don't say it sucks because it doesn't go with what you're getting with the picture.
Exactly. But it sucks all day long. I got an eye full of cock every single hour. I'm like, there's enough. But you know what's even funnier? Me and my decoys, my boy Jay the Beast, Beth, everybody, we pray for cock pictures. It's pretty bad. Because the evidence that we obtain, once they send a penis picture, it's, pornographic material to a minor. I mean, we pray for these things to happen. So all day long, it's kind of sad. I got to pray for cock pictures, but I do. So when me and my team, we finally get the pervert to send a dick pic, we're like, we got the cock. Yes. It's sad, but you know what? It's what we got to do.
So what's a woman do? She send a vagina?
Man, no, the only two women that I busted, I got a predator woman on the hook too. They're sending pictures of their husbands. They're doing a three-way. They want a three-way with the little girl. So they're going to send pictures of the husband. Yeah, bro. The women, a good friend, a good buddy of mine who's got another team called AYP Predator Pursuit. Big shout, AYP. and Casper Decoy, they busted a couple of couples.
He
man.
sent a full picture. I'm fucking
I'm
curious
hoping
now.
well,
He sent a
that's what we're
full
hoping.
picture. I'm just curious. You got
Now-
me intrigued now.
Now he
Not
said,
on his dick, but
yeah,
just on
yeah. His face. Now he did say he was walking around other people. Usually these perverts, it's very difficult to get them to send a spot on one right away, but they'll dip off to a bathroom or something like that. Now look, let's see. Hold on, let me check my decoy. She's monitoring. Hold on. This other check. Because he also, some of them will only send the pictures on the applications. So I don't necessarily myself chat always on the applications. My decoys will make a profile, stuff like that. I started out doing it myself as the ultimate decoy, but it gets to be too much, dude. Like when I'm talking to him as a little girl, as a little boy on the phone, when I'm chatting with him via text message on the phone, it's hard for me to talk on the application, talk on the phone,
Right.
It's difficult, bro. It's really difficult. Here, so let's see. Okay, here we go. Hey, do me a favor. Let me know if Benjamin or either one of them send a picture of themselves, full picture, full frontal in the mirror. Send the text message. Actually, I just sent the text message to both Benjamin. I'm actually working two perverts, the one that we called and another one. But let me know if you could send me back if he does send a picture. I just said, I got two pervert phones going, by the way. This is my text now app. This is my sideline. It's great. All right, so I just sent the pervert a picture saying, hey, what's up? Wait, I sent her one. Wait, she just sent me a message back. Oh, he got...
I heard a ding. Did you tell me you got a picture?
I promise you. I'm going to show
Did
you.
you
Hold
get a
on.
picture?
Yeah, hold on.
Oh
wait.
my God, we got a picture.
Hold on, wait. He's wanting me
Just
to
like
call
that.
too. Hold on.
Oh my God.
Yep.
I want you to get this guy.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get... Oh, listen, one thing that I pride
You know what's
myself
just,
on... Go
Can you
ahead.
imagine somebody's watching this? It's their freaking kid.
Bro,
that
that's
they're trying- like-
that's the education right there, bro. Like, listen, parents out there, you're watching the Wham Bam podcast right now. You're actually getting educated because this is not just some crazy thing. This happens hundreds of times a day, thousands of times to real kids a day, literally. So if you're watching this right now and you're seeing what I'm doing, it's novelty, it's crazy, it's entertaining, right? But the fact of the matter is, it's real. Your child is on these social media apps that I'm chatting on with these perverts. Your child 100% has come across a child predator and they may not even know it. So you have to, as a parent, do your due diligence. This is what Child Safety Soldiers prides itself on, keeping your kids safe. This is what the Wham Bam podcast prides itself on, raising the education, the awareness factor. We shed light on darkness. We shine the light on darkness, and these bastards are dark. All right? Your children are the light. We're going to make sure that we do everything in our power to educate you as parents and see to it that we keep raising awareness like this with your podcast. The Wham Bam podcast, man, this is ultimately what I set out to do 7.5 years, almost 8 years ago. It's just now coming to fruition. So you're a part of something great. Now let me show you. These bastards, there you go, let's show you see. Take a look. Now we got evidence.
Yeah,
There we go.
That's
It's the same big one, right?
the same one. It's the same big one. I didn't need to see that. That might
I'm
scar
sorry,
me tonight.
Phil.
That might
Phil,
scar me tonight.
Now he's got an eye full of the same thing, bro. But that right there is now going to get sent over to. I mean, my decoy, she's amazing. I got a bunch of decoys. She's going to forward that over to police. Police are already actively working with us. I have an officer, big shout to Officer Molly. I'm going to give you a name out there because you're amazing. I won't give her real name, but I'll say Officer Molly. She knows who she is. She's absolutely a part of our organization, Child Safety Soldiers and Guardians of the Coast. It's pivotal, man. Having police be a part of your organization. We're going to expand, man. We're building an empire. I built this empire with my bare hands and my heart, dude. Yeah. It's not something I'm building by hammer and nails and, gaining from it. What I'm getting from it, not gaining, is I'm getting just satisfaction that these bastards are getting arrested, dude. Like, we're really tearing up.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Man.
Like, what is your goal? I mean, this started out from a vindictive, something that happened to your daughter. You turned it into saving so many lives, younger lives, when you really think about it, because a lot of times when these kids are abducted at a young age, they're the ones that are committing suicide. They're the ones with mental health. They're the ones that have problems down the road. So you're saving that from ever happening. Where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years from now? Where do you plan on going? Where would you like for your company to go?
Brother, I've never actually even thought of that. Now that you're asking me, honestly, I'm going to give you a true heartfelt answer. 5 years from now, I want to have a Child Safety Soldiers organization, and it doesn't have to be called Child Safety Soldiers, because I said this 7 years ago, and look at it now. I want to have a child predator hunting team, organization such as myself and my own team, in every city, in every state in America. If there's one of our organizations in every city, in every state, I'm talking from this city to the next city to this, like right next to each other, these child predators are going to have nowhere to go because our decoys are hunting them on a daily basis. So 5 years from now, I'd love to, be 100% just successful. Now, listen, bringing the awareness to the TV, of course. I've had TV deals. I've had Mark Wahlberg offer me a deal, blah, blah, blah. I mean, tons of stuff. But it was never about the fame or the fortune for me. It was always been a passion in my heart. Yeah, did drugs sidetrack me a little bit? Absolutely, a lot. But now that I'm sober, man, I'd love to just see every single city in every state having an organization, even if it's just one, but I'd love multiple in each city, in each state, man. People like yourself, man, with this podcast, spreading the awareness, shedding light on darkness. That's what I want to do. In 5 years, I will hopefully have already hit all the states, every 50 state and every college possible known to man, every high school known to man, raising awareness, keeping these kids safe, man, because that's what it's about for me, dude. It ain't about this, the money. It ain't about none of that. Because you know what? If it were, I would have a different, I wouldn't have had so many failures, because money is, the root of all evil, people say, but also money does make things easier. But right now, it ain't hard for me. Look, man, if I make money doing my voiceovers for the radio stations, I'm spending that money doing something I love doing, and I love keeping your kids safe. So 5 years from now, man, hopefully I'll have 1,000 busts done. 1,000 police departments. Who knows, man? We'll see. Sky's the limit, bro.
Well, Shane, I just want to thank you so much for being here today, sharing your story, sharing this stuff with the world.
Yes, sir.
Totally baffles me, especially now the picture, I'm scarred now.
I got a whole phone full of them,
which
Phil.
we're not going to show the viewers.
No, you don't want to see
Alex
it,
and our
folks.
producers. But you know what? I really do appreciate that, because awareness is something that people do need. It's a reality. I can't even believe we just witnessed it on the show.
Oh, man.
Somebody live right here happening.
That's nothing either, man,
know?
because, I wanted to show you, maybe at a later date we'll come back on again. I wanted to show you, the actual nature of them, like them talking about sexual activity. I mean, he's going to get sexual. Tonight, I'll be in my hotel room, Phil, talking sexual. I won't talk sexual, but the pervert will be like, oh, do you want me to do this to you? They are relentless, dude. And it's the parents out there that have to realize your child could be on the receiving end of one of these phone calls that you just seen. My phones ring all day long with these predators. I'm not a child, but I have your child's likeness in mind, and your child's likeness can also be infiltrated by any one of these perverts at any time. So, Phil, I want to say thank you, man, to your podcast for bringing the awareness out there for my organization, Child Safety Soldiers and GOTC.
Let's put that up there. What can I find? You got a website there?
Yeah, man, childsafetysoldiers.com and guardiansofthecoast.com, man. You can check both of us out. Our websites kind of suck right now because I'm not that good at building websites, bro. And, the little punks out there want a lot of money, man, a lot of money to build them. So they're just cookie cutter right now. But you could see me on Facebook, Child Safety Soldiers. Instagram, Child Safety Soldiers. Same thing with TikTok, man. Child Safety Soldiers. And Prank Call Mafia. I also do prank calls in comedy. Believe it or not, I'm not just some guy that
Prank
just
Call Mafia.
Yes, sir, man.
Prank Call Mafia.
Yeah,
How
bro.
does that go?
Oh, dude, it's great.
Man,
It's a
we'll
whole
have to do that in the next podcast.
We do some prank calls. We can prank call anybody you want, man. And I promise you, it'll be the funniest thing, dude. We call people up, mess with them. I do dabble in the comedy world, But for now, man, it's seriousness, it's safety, and it's just serenity, man. It's just your children's safety, bro. So thank you, man.
There you go. Well, there you have it, folks, man. You heard it from himself, Shane. Just like anything in life, man, no matter what you do in life in the past, doesn't define what you do in the future.
Amen.
You can make your bad into so good. He's doing so many wonderful things. And as your boy Wham Bam always says, man, if your life was a movie, would it be worth watching? And if the answer is no, then stop being ordinary and start being extraordinary. Till next Wednesday, baby. As always, stay positive and keep testing negative. I'm your boy Wham Bam, and I'm out.